It's December 23rd, 1974 in Fort Worth, Texas. The air was cold and the city was alive with holiday anticipation. Stores were packed and streets were busy. Three friends, Mary Rachel Trlica, age 17, Lisa Renee Wilson, age 14, and Julie Ann Moseley, age 9, set out for the Seminary South Shopping Center. They were just looking for Christmas gifts, but what happened next would become one of the most chilling unsolved cases in American history. Welcome to Lurking in the Shadows. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to Lurking in the Shadows. I'm Kirsten.
And I'm Amber, your host.
Yes, we are your hosts. If you're new here, welcome.
We hope you stick around, but I don't know. This is the Christmas episode, so
Yeah.
don't mean to ruin you on the holidays, but
Yes, if you are listening on Christmas and you need a little true crime to add into your day, you're in the right place.
yeah, maybe a merry little murder.
Well, in this case, it's actually a missing persons case, so there's no murder in it. Well, I mean, none that we
I guess
can
we
say.
don't really technically know. Yeah, we can't say. But
yeah.
How about a merry little mystery then? How about that?
Yes, merry little mystery.
Work. Yeah, that'll work. That could be. We could put that in the episode title.
Yes. And this is the last case of 2025.
Yes. So if you are a listener for a little while, thank you for making it through the year with us.
Yes, thank you. We appreciate everyone's support so far.
Hope you've been enjoying it. We'll always take the feedback.
Yes.
We can make it our goal for the new year that we become a bigger and better podcast.
Yes. That's our goal.
Yes. Let's manifest it, people. We got this.
Yes, let's manifest it.
2026 is our year.
It is. It will be.
Yeah, that's right.
So I really struggled to find any basic information about the girls that went missing in this case. Because it's from the 1970s. I couldn't even find like family interviews where they're saying like, oh yeah, Rachel was so into this or really liked school. I couldn't like find anything like that.
Yeah. I come across sometimes cases, like even the case that I'm researching right now, I feel like the background that I get is so little, and then we kind of just like jump right into it. And like sometimes that's just how the cases are, that we don't really have as much background, unfortunately, about like who these people were, even the victims, whether it's the victims or the perpetrators. But either way, I've come across that too. Like I said, even with the case that I'm doing right now, I'm like, oh, there's not much background here, but it's still a case to be told.
Yes. Yes. So we're going to start with three girls. Mary Rachel Trlica, who went by her middle name Rachel, was a 17-year-old high school student at Southwest High School in Fort Worth, Texas. Rachel was married to 21-year-old Thomas, who went by Tommy Trlica, even though she was still a minor. And he had a 2-year-old son named Sean, whom Rachel looked after as her own. I don't know what her family thought of this marriage because I really could not find much information or interviews. And that's one thing we like to focus on in our podcast, if you're new, is focusing on the victims and their background and their story, but this was very difficult to do in this episode. So she's 17 years old and she's married. And also every article I found jumps right into the beginning of this case, which is unfortunate, and it also doesn't help that this case is 51 years old.
Yeah, we're working with very old reports.
Yes. Anyway, Rachel's maiden name was Arnold. Rachel had a younger brother named Rusty and an older sister named Deborah, who was living with the couple at the time. Strangely, Tommy was previously engaged to Deborah.
Oh, well then.
Yeah. Previously engaged, and now he's married to her sister.
You know, we'll let that one go, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh, it's Texas. I'm just kidding, Texas.
A thread on Reddit mentioned Rachel and Deborah's home life may not have been the greatest and that their dad was abusive. I can't confirm this, but it's speculated that that could have been a reason for Rachel to get married so young and move out of the house, and then Deborah followed. I also read in another article that Deborah had run away before, so the abuse claim could very well be true. She was, just trying to get away from home.
Yeah.
Rachel was 5 feet 6 inches tall and weighed approximately 108 pounds. She drove a 1972 Oldsmobile 98 and had a scar on her chin.
Ah,
Lisa,
good old Oldsmobiles.
yeah.
We used to have one of them.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, you've been in it a couple times. You probably just didn't remember it was an
Oh,
Oldsmobile.
yes, yes, I do remember that.
Yep, yeah. That was a 2001. Made it
Oh, okay.
23 years, I think it made it or something
Yeah,
like that. So
wow. That's a long
good old
time.
Oldsmobile.
Or 30. Lisa Renee Wilson, who also went by her middle name, Renee, was a 14-year-old girl living in Fort Worth and was good friends with Rachel. Renee had a boyfriend named Terry Moseley who had just given her a promise ring on the morning she went missing. Renee stood at approximately 5 feet 2 inches tall and weighed around 110 pounds. Julie Ann Moseley, the third girl that goes missing, she was only age 9, and she is the younger sister of Renee's boyfriend Terry.
Oh.
Yeah. Julie stood at just 4 feet 3 inches tall and weighed about 85 pounds. Julie didn't know Rachel, but she knew Renee through her brother, so it was not uncommon for the two girls to spend some time together. On December 23rd, 1974, Rachel asked Renee if she wanted to join her for some last-minute Christmas shopping. According to the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Rachel and her husband Tommy were preparing for his 2-year-old son to spend Christmas Eve with them. She had first asked her sister Deborah to go shopping with her, but Deborah was up late the night before and didn't want to get out of bed, and their mother couldn't go either. Renee agreed to go because she had layaway to pick up, but she wanted to be home by 4 p.m. because she would be attending a Christmas party with her boyfriend Terry. Renee was staying with her at her grandmother's house, who lived across the street from Terry at the time. So Renee asked Terry if he wanted to join, but he already had plans to visit a friend at a hospital. Terry's little sister, Julie, overheard this conversation and asked if she could go along. Renee said yes, but Julie had to get permission from her mom first. Julie called her mom at work and begged her to let her go along. Her mom wasn't entirely comfortable with letting her daughter be driven to the mall by a teenager she didn't know because she didn't know Rachel, but she trusted Renee, and she just recently started a job so she couldn't stay on the phone for much longer arguing with Julie, so she reluctantly said yes.
Uh,
But her daughter would sadly never return.
yeah. As situations are always so hard because you, as a parent, you
Uh-huh.
can't always make the right call. You have no idea what's going to happen.
Right.
And like, there is no right call here. Like, I don't mean it
No.
like that. Like
Yeah.
you know,
Julie's mother has since passed away as of this recording, and Terry, her Renee's boyfriend, is quoted saying, "My mom beat herself to death the rest of her life after saying yes that one time," end quote.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't imagine, like, the guilt and fear she must have felt.
yeah. And no matter what you say or do, honestly, I can't blame her for blaming herself. I mean,
Right.
I would probably be doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm. There is conflicting information on exactly what time the girls headed out for the mall. Renee's grandmother told police the girls had left her house around 11:45 a.m., according to one of the first Star-Telegram stories about the disappearance. Terry said he remembers them leaving between 10:30 and 10:45 a.m. And I read in other articles that the girls left around noon. So we'll say sometime between 10:30 and 12, the girls headed to the Army and Navy surplus store so Renee could pick up 2 pairs of jeans she had put on layaway. Do you remember layaway?
I know.
I remember when
Well, when you
Kmart
said
had
it,
layaway.
yeah, when you said it earlier, I was like, good old layaway. But I actually didn't know because this is in the 70s, you said, right? That
Mhm.
I didn't know that there was layaway back then, but I
Yeah.
do remember layaway when we go to Kmart and like, you know,
Yep.
Walmart had it and stuff.
Mhm.
Now it's
Yeah.
just fucking credit card and debt.
Yeah. Yeah. So after they headed to pick up the layaway, the girls headed to the Seminary South Shopping Center, which is now known as La Grand Plaza, and they parked on the upper level of the Sears parking lot. Sadly, after this, we have no idea what happened to the girls. When the
I have
girls failed to,
questions, but I
well, yeah.
yeah, I was gonna say I have questions, but I'm gonna let you keep going because you're probably gonna cover
No.
them.
When the girls failed to return home by 4 p.m., their families began to worry. Renee's mother, Julie Wilson, called to ask Deborah if she had heard anything from the girls. When Deborah said no, Judy instructed her to stay by the phone in case they called. Deborah was quoted saying, "There was so much coming at me from so many directions, it was like being in the Twilight Zone," end quote.
Mm.
The families of the three girls made their way to the Seminary South Shopping Center. Rachel's Oldsmobile was discovered in the parking lot around 6 p.m. The door was locked. The only items noticed in the vehicle were 2 pairs of pants and a small wrap present Renee had brought along for Rachel's stepson, Sean, that she had wrapped at her grandmother's house. It appeared that the girls had never returned to the vehicle as there was no signs of a struggle inside or around it. One of the pairs of pants inside was a new pair, but the other pair was a pair Renee had been wearing when she left the house, suggesting she must have changed into one of her new pairs of pants after picking them up.
Yeah.
There were no personal belongings left behind, such as a purse or keys. Renee's mother, Judy, asked them all to page the girls overhead at each store and called local hospitals and the police, while Rusty and his mother went from store to store looking for them. The Fort Worth Star-Telegram reported Richard Wilson, Renee's dad, and a neighbor climbed onto the roof of a nearby building with a shotgun and stood watch over the Oldsmobile.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh. That's
That's
a
very
hell of an image.
Texas.
That's a hell of an image in my in my head. That's something my dad would do.
It is.
Oh god.
Police soon arrived to the scene. Several witnesses told the police they saw the girls shopping at the mall that day. A few particularly mentioned seeing Renee as she was wearing a t-shirt that said "Sweet Honesty." Fort Worth police initially investigated the disappearance as a routine missing persons case, claiming they had no reason to suspect foul play. Detectives visited bus stations and talked to people who said they may have seen the girls. The police quickly decided the three girls ran away.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, they think three
Literally.
minors are going to run away 2 days before Christmas?
Okay, not just that, but the little girl, what was her name again?
Julie.
Julie didn't even know Rachel, right? It was Rachel that she
Right.
didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, what do you think they just randomly got into this car? She's like, I need to go pick up these pants, and then they all collectively decide, you know what? Let's fucking run away. Let's go right now.
And why would they run away without the vehicle?
Yeah, that
Like,
yeah. Where the fuck are they going anyway?
right.
Like literally running away, like taking it to like
Yeah,
using
literally
them
on
2
foot,
feet.
I guess. I don't know. Well, we can't even say, oh, it was the 70s because this kind of shit happens today even. We're like,
It
oh,
does,
it's
yeah.
nothing.
I mean, the only difference from then and now is that our investigation of crimes and DNA has gotten a wee bit better. We can't even say
Yeah.
much better because people
Mm-hmm.
suck. But, yeah. I mean, why are we jumping to this conclusion already?
I don't know. The car was never dusted for fingerprints before being released back to Tommy the next day. And because they assumed this was a runaway case, they never secured the area as a crime scene.
I'll be honest though, with the car being locked and looking like I can't say that there was anybody that went into that car. I can't say that they would actually find something.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it seems like whatever happened outside of that car, unfortunately. Yeah. And that, but why did they park up there in that part of the parking lot? Is what I want to know.
Yeah, I don't know if it was just like really full because it was 2 days before Christmas.
Maybe. Yeah, because when you said like the far, I think you said like the far right.
They parked in
If
the upper lot, the upper Sears
yeah,
lot.
yeah. So I was wondering like why did they park so far away? But that's a good point. 2 days before Christmas, it probably was crowded.
Yeah, it might have been busy. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
The investigation was handled by the department's youth division for several months before eventually being assigned to a homicide detective. One of the earliest reported eyewitness accounts from December 23, 1974, involved a witness who claimed to have seen men hustling the three girls into a pickup truck after they returned to their vehicle at the Seminary South Shopping Center, suggesting the girls may have been under coercion. Another witness reported seeing a man forcing a single girl into a van in the vicinity of the shopping center on the same day.
Interesting that. Did it say how long it took these witnesses to come forward? What did
I think these ones came forward
pretty
pretty
quickly?
quickly from when they were interviewing people like around the mall.
Okay, so the first one saw multiple girls, and the second one only saw one girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. It's so hard with witness
I
testimony. It
know.
really is. It's
Yeah. And then we'll get into some other witness testimonies that come on later on, but yeah,
yeah, it's hard.
it is. Investigators were unable to verify either sighting due to a lack of immediate follow-up interviews with the witnesses and the failure to identify any matching vehicles in the area. A man who said he was an acquaintance of Rachel's claimed to have talked to her in a store at the mall the day the trio disappeared. A woman told a clerk she'd seen the three girls being forced into a yellow pickup, but detectives were never able to find the woman. Detective Hudson said in 1979, quote, "Several people think they may have seen them, but at Christmas time with thousands of people at the mall, nobody can say for sure," end quote.
Yeah, it's true.
Mm-hmm. The next day, on December 24th, the early morning edition of the Star-Telegram covered the story of the missing trio. Also that morning, a mysterious letter arrived in the mail to Rachel's home. Rachel's husband Tommy found a postmarked letter in his mailbox that read, quote, "I know I'm going to catch it, but we just had to get away. We're going to Houston. See you in about a week. The car is in Sears upper lot. Love, Rachel," end quote. And if you're watching on YouTube, I'll insert a photo of the letter, or you can see it on our Instagram. The stamp on the envelope had been canceled that morning, meaning it was marked to prevent its reuse. The cancellation did not include a city, and the zip code of the cancellation was blurred. The number 3, or what they assume, on the zip code appeared to be either backwards, as though it was applied by a hand-loaded stamp, or a partial 8. It is assumed that the zip code was meant to be either 76083, which comes from Throckmorton, Texas, 76038, which comes from Ellisville, Texas, or 76088, which comes from Weatherford, Texas. And I looked these locations up in relation to Fort Worth. Throckmorton's about 132 miles from Fort Worth, Weatherford about 30 miles away, and Ellisville about 90 miles away. And there were some strange things about the letter. First, the letter was written in ink on a sheet of paper larger than the envelope, but the writing on the envelope was in pencil.
Okay.
Second, the name Rachel at the end was written, the name Rachel was written in the top left corner of the envelope, but there was no return address underneath it. It just said Rachel on the top left corner.
Yeah.
And the envelope was addressed to Thomas A. Trlica, but Rachel always called him Tommy.
Yeah.
Third, it looked like whoever signed Rachel's name at the end of the letter either mistakenly wrote 2 E's at the end of her name instead of an E and an L, or they just wrote the L too small, because you can clearly see that the smaller E or L was written over to like make a larger L. Does that make sense?
Yes. So like if I'm
Okay.
writing my own fucking name, I'm not gonna mess up the last letter
Yeah,
and
you
have to
wouldn't
go
think so.
over it. Yeah. Like, and also when you're signing something, like who gives a fuck? Okay. Somebody who's trying to forge a signature gives a fuck.
Yeah.
So they're going to try and fix it at the end. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
So to me, that sounds like whoever's writing it is not Rachel. She's not going to go
Yeah.
back and try and like fix her last. She's just like, here's my signature. You know,
Mhm.
how many of us do that? Here's our, no matter
Right.
how shitty it is,
Yeah.
how many
Yeah,
times
just
we get
quickly do it.
handed. Yeah, we get handed like those fucking stupid electronic things we have to digitally sign, and it always looks like
Mhm.
garbage or whatever. We don't care. It's not
Yeah.
like we're trying to redo it or something. So
Right.
somebody I feel like who is trying to forge a signature is who cares.
Yeah. The letter was handed over to police, which further pushed their suspicion towards runaways, but handwriting tests proved inconclusive. The
Hmm.
letter was even submitted to FBI handwriting experts for analysis on 3 separate occasions over the years with no resolution.
Damn.
The families of the trio, though, did not believe Rachel wrote the letter, and they certainly did not believe they ran off.
I agree.
And also, I don't know how quickly, like, would mail, if you mailed a letter out on 23rd, would it arrive in someone's mailbox the morning of the 24th?
I feel like it's unlikely. Even back in the 70s, I feel like it would be unlikely.
I
Like,
know. And it had the mark, like it went through the post office, like the stamp was marked.
yeah. But how would it get there, Kirsten? Like, they can't predict the future. They wouldn't have wrote this letter before the girls actually went missing. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Because they would have to have known where they were parked. The car was parked because they mentioned that in the
Yep.
letter.
Yeah. Interesting.
So, like,
Huh.
how was that? I mean, maybe it would arrive overnight that quickly. I don't know.
So they disappeared on the 23rd
Yes, supposedly yes.
at like, it was like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yep. Nah. No, they can't write a letter and get it in the mail and get it in someone's mailbox by the 24th.
Yeah, and it was in the morning.
Yeah, it was in the mailbox in the morning, and they're going
Mm-hmm.
like, and we're talking 6 o'clock at night by the time the family has done their thorough search around the mall, and we're talking they're missing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like this
Mm-hmm.
person, I don't know, I don't
I know
because
it just
like
seems like such short, like small amount of time.
yeah, because like I forget what time you said they needed to get the layaway or whatever, but it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon by the time they were
Renee
questioning
wanted to
like
be
where
back by 4
wanted to
to
be
go to
back
the
by
Christmas
4. So they
party.
yeah, so afternoon time. Person worked quickly. I still don't think a letter could be overnighted like that into somebody else's.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Unless it
That's
was, like they said, the zip code or whatever appeared that it may have been like a hand loaded stamp. Like, did someone have their own stamp thing and then just put it in their mailbox?
I guess yeah, definitely. I feel like somebody could have. Or even like back then how hard was it to like, I don't know, steal a stamp marker back then from the post
Yeah,
office or something.
I don't know.
You know?
Or it was someone that worked at a post office.
Yeah, that too. Had one at
Yeah.
home or whatever and like
Hmm.
and then just hand delivered this letter type of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
This is fishy.
It is fishy. Julie Ann Moseley's mother, Rayanne, stated, quote, I know my daughter and I know those other girls, and they are not runaways, end quote. Judy Wilson, Renee's mother, stated, quote, I could have told you that night that they didn't run away. Renee wanted to go to that party. And no 9-year-old is going to run off 2 days before Christmas. Everybody knows that, end quote. And Frances Langston,
Yeah,
Rachel's
not
mother,
willingly.
believed the girls had been abducted. Right. Saying, quote, a lot of people may think they left with someone they knew, but I'll always think until the day I die that the girls were taken, end quote.
I mean, a gun to 3 girls'
So,
heads could speak a lot of things and make you do a lot of things. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, and they were all young, you know?
Yeah.
They were
I
probably
mean,
scared.
like, yeah. And that's what I feel like. If somebody is taking, that's honestly what I would be leaning towards an abduction. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
if somebody's taking 3 girls, it's by gunpoint or something like that. And like, those girls are going to listen,
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately. And, I mean, look, the father was standing guard with a fucking shotgun. So,
Mm-hmm.
you best believe there's disgusting people out there running around with guns ready to kidnap girls, you know.
Right,
And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just feel like unfortunately it was this mall, this parking lot, and these three girls.
Yeah. So, like, for the letter, like, we don't know if it was a cruel prank. Did their captor write it, or maybe force Rachel to write it? Or is this
I don't
just a
know what to
desperate clue?
think.
Like, we don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know what to think about that.
I don't know. And, like, they did, like, handwriting experts, and they still couldn't tell if it was Rachel's handwriting or not.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, and if it was, I think she was, forced to write it.
Yeah, I think she was forced to write it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Christmas Day evening edition of the Star Telegram printed an article with a headline that read, "Missing Girl's Letter Discounted by Police." This letter becomes the only piece of evidence in this case.
Wow.
Rumors swirled. Had the girls been lured away by someone they trusted, or was a predator lurking in the shadows of the mall? The family searched. Investigators followed leads, but the girls had vanished, leaving behind only questions. In the first few weeks after the girls disappeared, their families hung posters and handed out flyers, pleading for help from the public. A night watchman who was working at Alcon Laboratories, which was down the street from the mall, reported seeing a car containing 3 women and 2 men pulling into the building's driveway that night, but unfortunately that tip went nowhere. Police spoke to a ticket agent at the local bus depot after he claimed 3 girls had asked about trips to Houston and other destinations on the morning after the trio disappeared, but nothing came from that tip either. According to storiesoftheunsolved.com, a few weeks after the trio disappeared, the family enlisted the help of a psychic named Jay Joseph. He told them he had a sense something was wrong with the letter allegedly sent by Rachel, and that he had a feeling the group had gone north toward Oklahoma or Illinois.
Ugh.
Yeah. He also stated that they were being held against their will and dope is possibly involved along with 3 or 5 people.
Okay.
So we'll take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll graze right over that
Yeah.
malarkey.
Another of the very few clues in this case came on February 6, 1975, around 11 p.m., about 6 weeks after the girls vanished. Renee Wilson Moseley, Julie and Terry's mom, received a cryptic phone call. The caller was initially silent and only made a low moan before speaking. A young girl said "Mama" to Rayanne, who was convinced it was her daughter Julie. When Rayanne asked the girl where she was, the caller said she didn't know. The caller identified herself as Julie Moseley before the call abruptly disconnected. Authorities initially considered the call a possible prank, but could not be sure. But that's so scary, though. Like, if that was real, like, did Julie, like, actually find a moment to make that call? And, like, did it end abruptly
Yeah.
because she was caught or something?
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
there's nothing we could do. There's nothing. What?
Yeah, no
You
idea
know?
where it came from. She didn't know where she was, so.
Wow.
Oh.
What? That's tough because what if? What
Yes,
if?
what if it was
What?
her?
And how long after was that? That was
6 weeks.
fuck. She could be alive
Yeah.
in 6 weeks.
Yeah,
Like
they could have kept them alive. Or, yeah, I don't know.
this is frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know. It's, and then you also wonder, like, did the captor let her make the phone call? But then he quickly hung up before she said too much information. Like, I don't know. Or was it just fake?
Yeah.
It could have just been a prank
Could have
caller
been
all
fake.
along.
I mean, and that's fucked as well. I mean, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like back in the day, you're making a fake phone call like that. It's not AI. There's not like
Right.
technology.
Yeah.
So you got like a little child, or you mocked your voice to sound like a little child to do that to that family, and that's fucked up,
Mm-hmm.
man.
Yeah, and I don't think we'll ever know, sadly.
No, that gives me a little pit in my stomach.
Mm-hmm. This would not be the only phone call their families received, though. In the days and weeks following the disappearance, the families received numerous prank calls. Some were silent, while others made false claims about the girls' whereabouts. Renee's father, Richard, told Dateline that prank calls became a cruel joke in the years following his daughter's disappearance, and he's quoted saying, "It's been really bad since they disappeared. We had to get an extra phone in the house because people would be calling and saying it was the girls when it wasn't them," end quote. Like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, get fucked,
Like,
all you people
yeah,
who think that you can just call up and like these people are mourning the
yes, they
loss
are
of their
grieving.
it's Chris. We just hit the new holidays. Like I know this is
Hmm.
weeks later in the coming years or whatever, but like fuck you.
Yeah,
Get a fucking life, man. Like come on.
yeah. Like, you're gonna just prey on people's grief like that and give them
You
hope that their child may be alive?
Yeah, and you can sleep at night with that? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a special place in hell for you pieces of shit.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I hope you get everything you deserve.
Hmm. Due to the lack of police investigation, the families decided to hire a private detective named John Swaim. In April of 1975, Swaim went to Port Lavaca, Texas, with 100 volunteers to search under local bridges after receiving a tip that the girls had been killed and taken there, but no trace of the girls was found. In August of 1975, Swaim discovered that a 28-year-old man who had worked for a local store where Rachel had applied for a job at before her disappearance was making a string of obscene phone calls in the area. It was discovered that the man was using his position to obtain information from young women who had either submitted job applications or been listed as references.
Ugh, what a sicko.
Yeah, 6 female job applicants had been receiving obscene phone calls from him.
Oh my god.
The man also once lived in the same neighborhood as Rachel's parents, but moved away shortly before Rachel got married.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, nothing came of the investigation into that suspect. It's just
That does
weird.
sound like
Yeah.
a decent suspect though.
Yeah. In 1976, 3 skeletons were found in a field in Brazoria County by an oil drilling crew. Swaim had the bones compared to x-rays and dental records of the girls, but none of it matched. In March of 1976, a psychic called one of the families and told them that the girls could be found near an oil well, which was kind of weird because they had just searched one.
Yeah.
Strangely, Swaim died, the detective, in 1979 following a drug overdose, and his death was ruled to be a suicide. But before his death, he ordered all of his files on the case be destroyed. So I don't know, like,
Oh.
what's up with that.
Yeah, why are we and what year was that? Sorry.
1979. So 5 years, or yeah,
S-
five. No, wait,
Yeah,
yeah, 1979. So 5 years later.
yeah, it's not even that long. Why the fuck are we destroying this shit?
Right. Like, are you involved somehow? Like, I don't know.
Mm,
And
that
like,
makes
how
you
like, did
want
he
to.
know he was? I guess he did that because he knew he was going to die. That he ordered all those files to be destroyed before his death.
Yeah, but why? Like, put in
I
some
don't.
police effort. Like,
I don't know. So that was just kind
that
of
is
a strange
suspicious
finding.
to me.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird. In the spring of 1981, police investigators were called to a location in Brazoria County, Texas, after human remains had been found in a swampy area. After a month of investigation, they discovered that the bones did not belong to the 3 girls. The families of the girls, as well as authorities, received various tips throughout the 80s and 90s alleging sightings of the girls in locations such as Houston and Dallas, but nothing ever came from those. According to storiesoftheunsolved.com, Rachel's brother Rusty contacted a private investigator named Dan James in 1999 for help in the case. They looked into several witness sightings of Rachel and Renee at stores and a gas station in the days following their disappearances. There are also additional reports that claim Rachel has been in the Fort Worth area during several Christmas seasons. In December 1999, James even offered a $25,000 reward for information leading to the arrest and conviction of those responsible for the girl's disappearance. He offered the money from his own savings and reports he's never received any financial compensation for the work he's put into the case. In January of 2001, the case was reopened and assigned to a homicide detective, Tom Butcher. He believes the girls left the mall with someone they trusted and was quoted saying, "We can all say that they were seen at one point with one individual, but we believe there was more than one involved." End quote. A
So
few months later,
he's saying that like he feels with confidence that that's the story he could go with. Like,
Yeah, he thinks it was someone they knew.
I mean, I can't blame him for like jumping on that. Like, what are you going to lead with here, really,
Hmm.
honestly? So, I
Right.
mean, that's where I'd start too. Like,
A few months later, a press conference was held where police shared they'd interviewed at least 20 new witnesses who'd seen the girls at the mall on the afternoon of December 23rd, 1974, and revealed that they'd narrowed down the possible list of suspects to just 5 individuals. That same month, a former Fort Worth policeman and security guard at the Sears outlet approached the news station KXAS NBC5, reporting he claimed to have seen 3 girls and a young male security guard inside a pickup truck at approximately 11:30 p.m. on the evening they disappeared. Supposedly, the girls appeared relaxed and were in the vehicle willingly, laughing and exchanging words before the security guard drove away with them in the vehicle. According to this witness, he contacted police a few days after news of their disappearance spread, but investigators failed to follow up with this information until April of 2001 now, after detectives learned about it from the news station.
so wait, they
Investigate,
followed up with it in 2001,
but he reported it not long after the girls disappeared in the 70s.
and his story didn't change in 2001.
I don't believe so. It's just his witness sighting. It didn't actually say if everything matched up, but
Hmm. I don't know. I feel like it has some weight to it when it's somebody who's reported something and is willing to come back with the same report how long later.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hmm. Investigators said they located the security guard seen with the girls, but he denied they were in his vehicle that evening, and I guess nothing else came from that because I didn't find any other information. So I imagine they must have ruled him out somehow.
Yeah.
In 2018, 2 cars were raised from Benbrook Lake with the help of volunteers from Texas EquiSearch using sonar, based on a tip regarding possible human remains in the area. Efforts, however, yielded no results. Over the years, investigators have continued to comb through Texas and have explored hundreds of back roads. So now we will get into some theories. Supporting elements for them running away include Rachel's age and marital status. She had been married to Tommy Trlica for only 6 months at the time of her disappearance, but there were apparently reports of frequent arguments, a physical altercation the night before her disappearance, and allegations of her involvement in extramarital affairs, indicating potential unhappiness in her relationship. Again, none of that is, proven. That's just suspected.
Speculation.
Yeah. The holiday season also could have caused some holiday-related family stress due to Rachel and Deborah's father, who was, allegedly physically abusive to them in the past. That doesn't really explain why she would take the other girls with her, though, and, where would they have gone? Even if she didn't want to be with family at Christmas, where are you going?
Yeah.
So that doesn't... The runaway just doesn't make any sense to me. And Renee also had plans that night. There's no way 9-year-old Julie would want to miss out on
No.
Christmas Day as well.
And I feel like I don't know. They seemed like responsible enough kids that they had the time they wanted to be back. They wanted to be at that party, like you said. That
Mm-hmm.
even if they met somebody that they were like going to do a side mission with, a side adventure with, like call home or something,
Mm-hmm.
like.
Yeah. And Renee
But I
even
just
invited Terry along on that trip. So, if they were
yeah,
planning to run away, I doubt they would be
they
running
did
away with
not
him too. I
plan
don't
to
know.
run away. There's
No,
no,
I
they
don't.
did not plan to run away. But I'm just saying, like, even if plans changed in the middle, where they met somebody who wanted that they knew that wanted them to come do something else with them, I feel like the girls could communicate that. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said, the time limit was 4 o'clock for the party or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Yep. And none of them packed extra clothing, money, or any other belongings with them. So, they're just going to run away with nothing?
yep.
One of the biggest theories is that the girls were abducted from Seminary South Shopping Center. But
And
I feel like it would have to have been someone, one or all of the girls knew. Because I guess with a gun, but how else do you lure 3 girls away in a crowded parking lot?
or authority.
Yeah. So maybe the security
Um,
guard theory held some weight, or
but also one thing that just crossed my mind is like we had proof that she switched pants. So there's other
mm-hmm.
two. If you're planning on running away into somebody else's, you have pants there. You're gonna take those
Right.
with,
You're gonna take all
you
of them,
know,
yeah.
like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So like that's another point to me too, is like wherever they went was unexpected and not planned.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it just, yeah. Like, it also makes you wonder, like, was there more than one person involved to, like, be able to abduct three girls like that from a parking lot during a busy holiday season? There would have been people around.
That's why I don't know, like this whole like letter stamp thing. I feel like the security guard citing authority could have been in there. I don't know. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know.
There was another murder and abduction of a female from a parking lot in Fort Worth in 1974. 17-year-old Carla Walker was kidnapped from a bowling alley parking lot on February 17, 1974, after her high school Valentine's dance. Her body was found several days later in a culvert near Benbrook Lake that they had searched earlier for these girls. The autopsy revealed she had been injected with morphine and was beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled to death.
Oof.
Her case went cold for decades until DNA evidence from her clothing was re-examined using genetic genealogy in 2020, leading to the arrest and conviction of Glenn Samuel McCurley in 2021, who was sentenced to life in prison. Investigators believe he may have been involved in the rapes and murders of several other young women in the Fort Worth area in the 1970s and 80s, but they have not tied him to the Fort Worth trio. And he died of natural causes in prison
Really?
in July of 2023. So it is kind of strange that another girl was abducted from a parking lot just months before these girls disappear. I mean, maybe it was the same guy. I don't know.
I mean, they obviously had to. Well, did they look into him during that time? But
They
this
said they couldn't
information.
tie him to the trio, but I
Okay.
don't know
I was gonna say,
how
'cause this information's
extensively
coming
they
out.
investigated that.
Yeah. Man. I mean, but what do we have for these trios to tie anybody to? I'm saying,
I
like,
know. Like,
period.
I feel like
Yeah.
abduction really is the only answer in this case, but by who and where are they now?
Yeah.
What did they do with
And we
them?
have nothing. Like, no matter what who the suspects are, I don't know. We have no camera footage of somebody being there, obviously.
Hmm.
We have only some witness statements, and they don't seem, like reliable enough that they could identify a car or identify a person or anything
Right.
like that.
None of the witnesses all claim the same story.
No. And so it's like what do we have to go on, even if somebody with a previous background sounds like the person who would commit this crime? We have fucking nothing to tie
Yeah.
them to it.
There is no evidence in this case other than that letter.
Yeah.
And that
Like,
we don't even know if that was evidence or if it was fake. Like, we don't.
yeah, we don't even know that. Yeah.
Nope. Rusty, Rachel's brother, has never given up on the investigation. He told Dateline, quote, "I started working on their disappearance ever since I was old enough to do so, pretty much my whole life," end quote. He's one of the administrators of the Missing Fort Worth Trio Facebook page, which has over 13,000 members, and everyone listening should go follow it. He said, quote, "We were looking at the statistics of the 13,600 people who are in the Facebook page, and there are people from cities and countries all over the world. It makes me feel like what we are doing is working, and we have to keep talking about it and getting others to talk about it too," end quote. And that's also why we are here talking about it.
Yes. Because you never know when a 51-year-old case could be solved.
Mm-hmm. Tommy left Fort Worth and remarried several times. Renee's family still resides in her childhood home in the Fort Worth area. For 2 decades after Julie's disappearance, her mom, Rayanne, broke down visiting psychiatrists and psychologists. She even spent some time in a hospital.
Aw.
According to Rusty, his pursuit for answers has frayed his relationship with his mother and sister. He even stopped talking to his sister for several years, speculating she knew more than she was saying. And that's referring to Deb.
Yeah.
The girls are listed in the NamUs database if we ever get any DNA breakthroughs in this case. The investigation remains active in the Fort Worth Police Department's cold case unit. It is unknown what Rachel was last seen wearing aside from a wedding ring, but Renee was wearing bluish-purple hip-hugger pants, a white pullover sweatshirt with Sweet Honesty written in green letters, red and white Oxford shoes, and a promise ring with a single clear stone. Julie was last seen wearing a red shirt with dark jeans and red tennis shoes. Tips continue to be encouraged through dedicated hotlines, including the Fort Worth Police Department at 817-392-4307 and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children at 1-800-THE-LOST, which is 1-800-843-5678. 51 years have passed now this month. The Fort Worth trio's fate, I don't know, I guess it's a riddle in time. Somewhere someone knows the truth, but for now, the shadows remain.
Wow. I don't even know what to... I got nothing.
Yeah, I have... Abduction is really all I have.
Yeah, I feel like I could confidently say that, but I still can't 100% say that.
Right. Yeah, because it would be tricky to abduct 3 girls.
That's
like,
sad.
In daylight in a busy Christmas shopping-filled parking lot.
Yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, at this point, I definitely think whatever the case may be as far as like abduction, I don't even want to say runaway, because to me that's not even a possible realm of a possibility. You know what I mean? I don't even want to say that
in this case.
Yeah, I do
For
unfortunately think
no.
Yeah, no. But I do unfortunately think that they probably abducted, if they were kept alive, it probably wasn't long, and I do think they unfortunately probably met their demise with whoever their captors were. And these whoever, I mean, we're in Texas. How far is the border? This is back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
How easy was it to just smuggle someone across the border?
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but Texas is so vast, like their bodies could be anywhere.
Yeah, literally anywhere. They only checked one body of water, and you know, they did all the searching that they can. I get it. Like, you can't sit here and just search the whole fucking state of Texas here, but you know, like,
right. Yeah, I feel like the only way we're going to get answers in this case is if someone happens to stumble upon their remains. Like, that's...
Yeah, I feel like that's the only way. And even then, we'll probably just get the answer of, like, here are these...
Here they are, but who did it?
Here are these 3 girls. Yeah, like, we probably still, unfortunately, will never get the answers on this, and that's really sad.
I know. And if, like, it just makes you wonder, like, what did somebody say to them to get them all to, like, agree to go? Or, you know, it just makes you wonder, like, what happened?
I'm telling you, it had to be gunpoint.
Did it happen in the parking lot? Like, were they about to get in their car and someone ran up to them and was like, hey, I don't know.
Yeah, remember this, guys. This was 2 days before Christmas in broad fucking daylight.
Yeah. In a busy parking lot.
Yep. You can never be too cautious.
No. And even, like when we talked about Jennifer Kesse, you know, she was abducted from supposedly a secure apartment complex, and look what happened to her.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not sorry if this ruined your Christmas, but you clicked on this episode. You knew what you were getting into.
Yes.
But, and you guys have no idea behind the scenes what we go through. This was an episode. Yeah.
This was a technology nightmare of an episode.
Yeah, you know, give us like a like and a follow just so we can afford our fucking therapy bill so we can get through this. I'm telling you. We need to just make the behind the scenes bloopers of
struggles, yeah.
Just to get an episode out there, because this was a doozy, but I'm glad we made it through. Here we are.
Yeah. However long this episode is, it took us about 3 hours to get it done.
Yes. That's accurate, yeah. It's been a wild ride. It's been a wild ride of a year with us. I hope you guys have been enjoying.
Yeah.
Like I said, let's look forward to the future. Maybe we can get this podcast off and going, and we can slowly get better. I know we could improve in some parts, and we will always take suggestions and some what's that called?
Constructive
positive
criticism?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Constructive criticism. We will gladly take some of that to make it a new year with Lurking in the Shadows, right?
Yes. New year of lots more true crime.
Yes. So make like a shadow and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at
Lurking in the Shadows podcast.
check us out on TikTok at
Lurking in the Shadows pod.
any questions, concerns, or case suggestions, shoot us a Gmail at
Lurking in the Shadows podcast at gmail.com. And keep lurking around for our next episode. Bye.
Bye.